Zach Maslany now making his way to the stage. Maslany in the black and white. Expect fireworks, ladies and gentlemen.
It's Zach from 10th Planet Bethlehem.
10th Planet Bethlehem.
Veritable dream team of killers.
Him and JM
Yes, sir.
holding down the fort at 10th Planet Bethlehem.
Great technique. He's
a beast. He's a savage.
excellent coaches, I have to say. Great guys, JM and Zach.
It's a beautiful.
Great guys, JM and Zach.
Veritable dream team of killers.
He's a beast. He's a savage.
It's Zach from 10th Planet Bethlehem.
10th Planet Bethlehem. It's 10th Planet Bethlehem. It's a beautiful.
Great technique. He's
It's 10th Planet Bethlehem.
Like the fire needs the air. Yeah. I won't burn unless you're there. You're there.
I need you to hate. So I can use it for energy. You know?
I won't burn unless you're there. You're there.
Feel this. America got a thing for this gangster shit. They love me. Black Chuckers, Black Scully, leather Pele. I take spit over rainbow shit. I'm a fan who got that silver duct tape on my tray handle. The women in my life bring confusion and shit. So like Nino with no jack, I'll
cancel that bitch.
Look at me. This is the life I chose. Niggas around me so cold. Man, my heart confroze. I build an empire.
Yo, Zach's Corner, episode 20 is 8. What up, everybody? Back at it. G-Unit. Remember that from back in the day? I actually used to rock G-Unit sneakers. I had them for a while. They were dope sneakers. I had a couple G-Unit shirts, G-Unit hoodie. Dude, I was into G-Unit back in the day. You know, I wore Echo. I wore some interesting clothing, but I still always had like a Grateful Dead shirt or something like that. So I guess you could say I'm just a mixed match of different genres, if you will. But I was a 50 Cent fan. I'm not really too much of a fan of his now. I haven't really listened to any of the music he's put out in forever. I follow him on Instagram. Seems kind of funny. He's always just throwing his money around. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't be the same as 50 Cent if I would have went through what he went through when he was a kid. You know, getting shot 9 times and all that stuff. And then just, you know, being the ultimate hustler from the hood. So, like, I always wanted to, you know, be like him, per se, and, like, come out of nowhere and, you know, rise to the top in whatever you were in. And it was dope because he got signed. If you guys don't know this, he got, I forget the exact story. I know I saw something on it, but he got signed by Eminem and Eminem was signed by Dr. Dre. So, like, that's how Dr. Dre got super rich. And then 50 Cent just, you know, as he was coming up, just made a lot of good business deals. And he ended up, I think he invested in vitamin water. And I remember he had his own for a while. I don't know if it's still out there, but it was like Formula 50. He sold vitamin water, I'm pretty sure, to Coca-Cola. And once Coca-Cola bought that, was like, you know, it was some ridiculous amount of money when you're like, why are they, how is it? But it's somehow, you know, he made a lot of dough off that. So plus, you know, his records and everything that he sold, he's made so many different songs. Clothing line, like I said, you know, even white boys from the burbs were even rocking G-Unit sneakers. So, you know, they were making loot. You know, Tony Yayo, the whole crew was awesome. Like Young Buck, still probably one of my favorites. So Lloyd Banks, the Punchline Kid, always loved Banks. You know, we can play, you know, maybe I'll have to go on and do like a G-Unit episode where I just break down all the cool G-Unit moments. Obviously, DJ Green Lantern, Eminem, and 50 and all them. If you're like a new age rap fan and you like guys now, and you're into like mixtapes, or you claim you're into mixtapes and you don't just listen to commercial whack shit, you should go back and listen to the DJ Green Lantern, 50 Cent, Eminem, the whole crew, D12, G-Unit, everybody just dissing Benzino, and I think that's how you say it, Benzino, or Double XL or Triple XL magazine, or whatever that was, The Source, and also Ja Rule. So go back and listen to that. And like Ja Rule came out, I haven't heard shit from Ja Rule in forever, and then he showed up on that Fire Firefly or Firefly. That's on Netflix, and there's another one on Hulu too. And I've heard about that in a bunch of different podcasts. And then I watched it. It was just funny because guys said they were gonna have a big party, and then they totally screwed everybody over. And the one dude was just a cokehead. He used to drink Coronas with their shirts off in the Caribbean or wherever that was with Ja Rule. And it's like, dude, if you're gonna be rich and act cool, then at least get someone way cooler than Ja Rule. Like Ja Rule, just once 50 and M dissed him, he fell off the map. So like, not he. I think he's like who likes Ja Rule? Does anyone like Ja Rule now? I doubt it. Maybe dudes who just somehow never heard Eminem diss him or heard 50 Cent diss him back in the day. I am actually here in the new Finishers Enterprises offices. Actually, aka I just moved to a townhouse. Was living in an apartment with my wife and 2 children, Ziggy and Merlot, my dogs, and we moved to a townhouse. We had an apartment and like same complex, literally across the street. Not across the street, but like up to the left, we moved to a townhouse. So, really cool. It's much bigger. It's 3 bedrooms, and I'm just excited about it. We're still in the process of unloading everything, but man, it's cool. It's cool to just be moving on up. At one point we started. Hey, babe. We started living in. After I left before, we started living in the school, and then we went from living in the school to living at Dan's. I think that was next, right? And we went from living at Dan's to living at Dan's. After Dan's, we went to the apartment here. And then after the apartment, we moved to the townhouse. Now after this, we're going to move to a mansion. Just kidding. But one day, maybe. A bigger house with some land. But for the time being, this is cool. I got a whole bunch of stuff I want to talk about on this one. I think it's been a while since I did a podcast. But I want to check, before I start dropping knowledge on some of the things that I've just done, which was really cool, I want to break down the trip that I took to Colorado. I want to break down my last match at the Rise Invitation. And then I have a bunch of random notes in my thing. I had moving across the street. I had a restaurant that we went to. I had written down also birds shitting on my car, which happened before, but I'm not parking that same spot anymore, so I don't really have to talk about that much. But birds were just like really under the one tree, just taking dumps all over my car, which was gross. And then also I wrote down, is it cool to be happy when bad shit happens to assholes? So I don't know what happened at the point when I wrote that down, but I do have that written down. So maybe we'll talk about that a little bit too. Let's see. Let's start with, I covered bird shitting on my car. I covered moving, which I said I'm very excited for. Got more bedrooms, a lot more room for activities. Still got a lot of stuff to put away, so gotta keep working on that. That's always the thing. I don't want to live out of boxes for the rest of my life, but I've known people who have moved into places and lived there for like 2 or 3 years and still just had boxes in their living room full of shit, and they're just like ridiculous. So that will not be us. But moving along. So 2 weeks ago, I think is before I left. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. And I had a Rise at the Rise Invitation. Shout out to Matt Cully, and shout out to my sponsors for helping me out to get this match with Joao Meow. But shout out to Backbone Yoga, Wicked Warrior Coffee, Nerve, and my boys. Yeah, my boys over at everywhere, man. Fuji, right, hooking me up. Like I said, Wicked Warrior Coffee, Backbone Yoga, Nerve, just man, it was like. And shout out to my boy Mike Fauerbach, Never Again Radio, for hooking me up too. You guys helped me out so much, and gave me the opportunity to compete against a legend. Probably one of I don't think there'll be ever anyone like the Meow Brothers again. Like they're crazy, and they're just the one. Paolo doesn't have any teeth. Joao's crazy. Like, he was just going after leg attacks after leg attacks on me. Like, it was so tough to get my game started on him. Like, I had drilled all these passing things, like, over and over and over. And then just like that one UFC fight where the guy comes in, he was just talking about how he was all I did was box, working on technique, blah, blah, blah. And then 2 seconds out there, it was just haymakers. And that's what it felt like for me against Meow, like I felt like I all these, I was still working a lot. My defense, I think, was on point, and I'll explain what happened at the end. But I felt like it was just like haymakers being thrown. Like he was launching leg attacks. Some of the positioning he wasn't in. He went for that straight ankle lock in the beginning. I rolled out like a million times. I got out 2 times. I escaped from pretty decent attacks by him and got back up on top and started to try to pass again. But every time you start getting anything going, you just have to reset, and it's difficult. So it's whatever. I had to just I took a chance at the end. I knew I was stuck in some of the leg attacks. I know I had like a minute and a half. So I just decided to honey stick them. If you don't know the 10 planet warm-ups, you probably have no idea what the honey stick is. But when you're in the honey hole, you take your free leg, the secondary leg, if you're a Kuda, and stuff it through, trap their leg, and then you triangle your legs, and then their leg is kind of trapped on the other side. It's open, so I push it across, and then I can hit the heel hook there, and he could pass my legs across and also hit heel hooks too. And I couldn't. I would have had to kick my leg all the way around, but he just finished me in a heel hook at the end, which is, I was definitely upset. My knee and ankle popped a little bit, but not, I think it did. I can't even remember. Things were happening so fast. Afterwards, everyone was like, yo, you did so good. And I got a lot of positive feedback from everybody. So I thank you guys so much for that. And people were like, dude, you were meant to be out there with them. Like, you were going back and forth, and like I said, I'm just very thankful, and thanks so much for the positivity. And I wasn't that mad that I lost. Like I've lost, I've done a million matches and fights already now, so like I know what it's like to lose. And I really just, Brett Favre it. I just throw the interception, and then I just get back to the lab, and then get back. Defense comes out, and then I come back again and start slanging. They got me out here Brett Favre, and you know what I'm saying. So. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? And so I was around a bunch of people that they don't say know what I'm saying, but they say that's from Trailer Park Boys, but they would say like, what were they saying? Man, it was just pissing me off because I started doing it. Oh, I would say, you know what I mean? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And that dude, it just, it was grinding my gears, but I'm going to really stop saying, you know what I mean? I'm going to really make a conscious effort to it. So, but anyways, Rise was dope. And it was cool. Like once I did honey stick him, and then once I passed the leg across, I went for the inside heel hook, and I felt no tension on his leg whatsoever. And if you've ever been in an inside heel hook in that honey stick position, then you would know that it could blow your knee out. And he just didn't give a shit about his own legs. And I care about my legs, and everyone says, like, dude, your legs are like Gumby, blah, 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 but his are also like Gumby. He's the real Gumby. So it was just an awesome match. Like, I felt really comfortable out there. I just felt like I had nothing to lose, and I'd love to face him again one day, so who knows? But you never know, because he is kind of like my weight. Like the weight class was 140 for this one, so screw 136. I'm not getting down there. I'm too old for that. 140. 145 is my steez. I'm gonna get back to lifting weights next week now that the move is done. And I took a little trip to Colorado with my wife, which was awesome. Man, we stayed in like if you guys are on the gram, you would have seen the chalet that we stayed in. It was like a big triangle type place, and it came with everything. It had a loft, had a back deck that was like a little bit of an overhang, and the mountains out there were so beautiful, the trees, and just looking up and then seeing huge mountains, and then behind that is even huger mountains with snow covered caps. So if you've never been to Colorado, you have to go there. And like my wife said, it's different skies out there, and it's just a different feel, like a different vibe, like the air quality. Like out here is definitely Pennsylvania and dirty Jersey, New York for sure. It's just like cloud covered. Like when you get in some of those western skies out there, when you get in, and then spots where there's not as much, there's not a gillion 5G towers and satellites and everything, overhead, and wires and all this different shit, and cars and everything. When you go up there, it's one lane, and you just keep going up and up and up. And we went through South Park, which I didn't even actually know was a real place. And then we stayed in Grant, Colorado, which is like, I think like on the edge of the mountains, like as you start going up. And then we traveled to Breckenridge, Colorado, which is probably one of the dopest places I've ever been. It was June something or other, and it was snowing the one day, and then the sun would come out. and you're not on top of the mountains, but you're like right in a ski area. And I heard that Breckenridge is where they actually filmed Dumb and Dumber up there, and they acted like that was Aspen, but they actually filmed it in Breckenridge because it's such a cool freaking town. So it's like hippie, big time hippie town. Like they got a Breckenridge brewery out there, real good beers. We had elk burgers. We went to the Oxygen Bar because it's actually 12,000 some feet up there, and I think where we stayed was like 9 or 10,000. And yeah, Breckenridge is 12,000 feet up, which is steep and treacherous, and it takes out your breath. So it's kind of weird. You get it. Sometimes people get sick up there, and it's definitely an interesting place, and it's just beautiful. The scenery. If you like trees and mountains and shit, you will definitely love it up there. So if you get a chance, go to Colorado. 100% go to Colorado. And we stayed in Denver too, and Boulder was dope. Like we got to travel around. We saw like the Flatirons. But that chalet we stayed in also had a sauna, so that was cool. Like I could definitely see myself taking a trip back there and just staying in that same place and just hanging out for however long, couple of days, because I could actually stay at that place. Like you wouldn't have to go anywhere. You could just hang there. You could just get off, hit like up a food place. Definitely go to Colorado. And what was else I was going to say about Colorado? Yeah, you could just get off the plane, hit up a food store, and hit up a dispensary, and then just head right to the place. Grab a case of Breckenridge brewing, 12 or 24 packages. Go up there for a couple days, get some food, because the place comes with a huge kitchen, and you could just hit the sauna every day, and just kind of like turn your phone off, and there's still Wi-Fi or whatever up there, but you can't be on it all the time. And it's nice to just kind of like break away and just check every now and then or whatever, but just like read books and relax, take naps, stuff like that. Rest up your leg from getting almost torn off by one of the Meow Bros. So that was really awesome. We also went to like a really good vegan restaurant. Now I'm not a vegan vegetarian place. Now I'm not vegan or vegetarian, but I indulge in those type of foods because I know they're good for you, and they're healthy, and it's like a solid meal. I don't feel like complete shit and like someone stabbed me in the ribs after I eat there. So, and that's how a lot of places are. You feel heavy and gross, and there's a lot of foods I like to eat sometimes, but I don't eat them all the time. But it was cool to check this place out called City O City, and it came through a recommendation from my boy Bryce, 10 Planet Bethlehem Blue Belt. Also, Sharkface Apparel. He does a bunch of the stuff. Check out, guys, go on, buy stuff from us, please. Shopfinishers.com. You could go on there and get shit from us at any time. And there's a ton of cool stuff. 10 Planet Miami stuff is up there. Stuff is up there, not stuff it up there. And what else we got up there? There's all types of stuff. There's mugs, hats, stickers. Gray stickers are up there. And also, by the time you hear this, I should have the 10 Planet Bethlehem green, OD green Cruise Combat rash guard up there. So, and also, guys, any guys listening to this podcast that actually do buy stuff off us, the Cruise Combat stuff takes a long time to come in. I'm going to put up there like 2 months. It should be to come in when you order it. So if you got extra scratch and you don't mind waiting 2 months, and I love how dudes get mad at me. They're like, oh man, like 2 months for a rash guard to come in? Come on, give me a break. What, are you quitting jiu-jitsu? What, are you quitting in 2 months? Relax, bro, it's coming. You're in it for the long haul. You're going to get a really dope rash guard for a little bit even cheaper than a lot of people are charging for mass-produced crap rash guards. And these are actually made in the USA by Ryan Nett and his son, and I'm sure he's got people working for him. I actually, you know what, I think it's just him. He might have expanded a little bit, but Ryan from Cruise Combat is the man. If you ever need anything custom done, you could just hit him up right away. He'll get it done in a week. He'll just be like, "Well, all right, when do you need it? I need it Friday, and I need it in hand in California, and I need it at this random hotel by the airport. No problem." Boom, shows up. Thor's got gear for combat, jiu-jitsu worlds. Boom, Thor's got gear for, or where JM got gear for combat out in Cali. Like I got my rash guard here the day before I left for New York City. So yeah, he kills it. But the green one will be up there soon, OD military green, because we're going to war, and we need that. So that'll be up there. What were we just talking about? Oh, that vegan restaurant. It always prompts, I don't even want to talk about this, but it always prompts us to want to open up our own restaurant, because there's not a lot of good places out here to eat. And, we've had this conversation with a couple of different people already. We had this conversation with some of my wife's family yesterday. How sometimes you go to these restaurants And like the service is okay. The decor is like over the top nice. So is that what you're paying for? Are you paying for the insane decor, right? The really really expensive feng shui that they just have sitting around, or are you paying for the actual how good the food is and how healthy it is, or not how healthy, but like how how done up it is, and like the chef is amazing and blah blah blah. But most of the time you're not. Most of the time you're not. You're going in there and the food is like lackluster and you're getting charged $120 unless you're drinking like 10 glasses of wine. It's like, come on, dog. Like I understand, you got to make dough, but like, there's some local restaurants that I'm just very disappointed in. They used to be good and I don't know what happened, to be honest. I guess they just shit the bed. And this place was money. You could get beer, you could get high level coffee, you could get I got like a burger and not no meat. You could still get eggs there. Like I think I got like a French. I don't even remember what I got the second time. But they had so many cool options, and it wasn't like a crazy menu, but they had a bunch of stuff, and it was good. We went there twice, and we also went to their sister restaurant, which I forget the name of it, Water something or other, Waterloo. I don't know. We went there too, and that was pretty crazy. So that was really good because we had time to kill when we were roaming around Boulder or wherever else. We had like a whole day to kill, and they kept pushing our flight back to like 1 a.m. So we were just driving around all day. And yeah, so that's Colorado. That's the Rise Invitational. Oh yeah, I wanted to bring this up. This is just like a thing I've been thinking about. Like, is it okay? Like, if something bad happens to someone, like let's say someone did something really bad to you or did something dumb to you, and you, are mad at them for it, or you don't talk to them anymore, or just someone fucks you over or steals from you or whatever, and then something bad happens to that person. Is it okay to feel good about that? And I don't know. Like it's a tough thing. Like sometimes, someone like really screwed me over, and then like something bad happens to them, and you're like, ha ha ha. If you're doing good and they're not or something, you're like, mwah, ah, in your face or whatever. And it's like, in jujitsu, is it like, someone leaves your school and they go to another school or whatever, and then they get choked out, or they look like they're getting worse or something like that. Like, is it okay to be like, or you should just not care, right? You should just be like, whatever. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to like just not care. Like I know, crazy things happen to people, and if something bad happens to someone who I, really don't like or I'm not friends with, and I try not to say I hate that guy anymore, even though I say that a lot. Like it's not like hate I guess is a strong word. Like I probably just dislike him, and the way he is, unless he's like some type of really scumbag dude who like either murder someone or like whatever. Because even like stealing is terrible, and I would never do it, but if you did, I feel like you could come back from that. Maybe you're just having like a hard time, and I feel like you could be forgiven. But if you do something like really like unforgiving, like the worst type of thing, then maybe I don't know, maybe like deep down you're always going to have those feelings where you're like happy that something, or you just feel bad for the person that they did something to too. So I don't know, I'm just rambling, but it's just one of those things to think about, like the feelings that you have when something happens to somebody, or like how you feel bad for certain things. So because a lot of times I'll be like, I'll feel bad for this, and someone will be like, you shouldn't feel bad. And I do that to people all the time. So sometimes it's like you never know what someone else is thinking. So it's important to like take that into consideration, even though like you might have been in a situation similar to that in the past, maybe handled it differently, and you had a certain outcome, and you're just, who knows? I don't know. I'm just rambling. But shit like that happens all the time. So maybe I just become indifferent when something bad happens to someone who I don't like, or I just understand that that's life and that's karma. That shit's gonna come back at if you're doing really bad stuff. Eventually, something bad's gonna happen to you. So yeah. Anyways, shout out to everybody. Thank you guys for listening. We training's been going great too. Just everything at the school, working on so much stuff. Finishers MMA.tv or Finishers TV on Instagram. We got Quentin. Today is actually his birthday. He's been hooking shit up for us. We got the Finishers 10. We're working on that eventually. So me and Nashawn and Abe and the rest of the crew are like scheming on that. We working on opening up another location. That's huge right now, so that's going down. We're working on it, and we don't want to divulge too much, but we got some stuff up our sleeves. And Grace is back to training 100%, so that's dope. She is employed by Finishers Enterprises now. Renee is there working for us. Quinn. Andrew Jones is just murdering it at the school. We are up around 30 more students than we normally have when me and JM just were in charge of it. So it's really cool to have Andrew working at the dojo and having a manager, and I'm thankful for him and everything he's doing. So that's awesome. What else? Gabe's down in Miami. Go to 10planetmiami.com. If you're around any area and you accidentally hear this podcast, go on 10planetjj.com, click on locations and see where a lot of them are. See where a lot of these 10 peasels are. We got in our area, the ones that we're like in charge of slash are our students or ours is Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Woodbridge, 10 Planet Miami. Woodbridge is in New Jersey, 10 Planet Newton, New Jersey, and also 10 Planet Long Island, New York. And then now also too out there in New York City, Ray and Cece from 10 Planet New York. They're obviously Eddie students. And I do anything I can to help them, but they got, they're really smart. They got like a whole bunch of stuff going down there, and they got like 80 students already in New York, so that's cool. They're moving. New York City is crazy, so more power to them for making the trip, traveling out from Los Angeles to open up the first 10 Planet in the city, which is really dope. And it's a crazy thing, man. They took a chance on it just like we did back in the day, and look what happened. You never know, right? That's why you gotta kind of just throw yourself in the fire sometimes and just say the hell with it. We'll do it live, and see what happens. So anyways, thanks to everybody. Zach's Corner Podcast. We're going to shut this down so I can get the rest of my Friday going. I'm teaching the little kids class today at 4, and I'm teaching the bigger kids class today at 5. And then on a future podcast, I'm going to also break down, let me just erase some of this and write this down right now, but I'm going to break down my kids' classes and the format that I use. And I'll probably give you that one for free because, I'm your boy. And then eventually we're going to have, like I said, we're eventually going to have a meeting at the school, like a whole weekend thing. Like people have been pushing for us to do like a summit, like how they did they've been doing it in Portland, and now they've been doing the Freak Summit out in San Diego. So there should be a finisher summit here in Pennsylvania and make everybody come to our area. And I'm going to work on that. We're working on the summit too. We're working on a lot of stuff. So just stay updated. FinishersMMA.com. Follow me on Instagram, Zach Maslany. And that's pretty much what I got. So thank you guys for your support, and I'll talk to y'all on the flip side. Actually, that's cool to say flip side. Peace. What's up, guys? Zach here from the Finishers Podcast and from this podcast, Zach's Corner Podcast. And this podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, The Grappler's Guide 3.0. Just go to thegrapplersguide.com. Check it out. Actually, instead of going to thegrapplersguide.com, you can go to me on Instagram at Zach Maslany. Click the link in my bio. Under there, there'll be a spot that says Grappler's Guide. If you click that link and go to the Grappler's Guide, you can get 30% off. Use the promo code Finishers too. You can get 30% off a lifetime membership, and I know there's some other deals with that too. So check out the Grappler's Guide. It's probably the largest grappling website that there is. Jason Scully, shout out to him. We filmed a bunch of videos on there. So if you're looking for the 10 Planet warm-ups, they're on there. If you're looking for, if you're like, dude, my open guard sucks ass, I need to figure some shit out, they're going to give you some ideas right there. Back attacks program, turtle and crucifix program, truck program, arm lock series. If you do gi for some odd reason, they got shit on there. If you're like trying to wrist lock people and piss them off, they got that on there. They also have what I really like is the outside experts. Not only do you get our stuff, but you get Riley Bodycomb, Dan Koval, Aaron Millam, Craig Jones, Wilson Hayes, Travis Stevens. You want to get your judo up? We're going to be down there. Lachlan Giles. If you want to get your guillotine up, learn from Josh Hinger. So check out the Grappler's Guide. Use the promo code Finishers. Or like I said, go to Instagram, click the link in my bio, and then click where it says Grappler's Guide. Use the promo code Finishers, and you're good to go. Get your learn on, motherfucker!
Hey everybody, this is Paul Maslany, Zach's little brother. I am Zach's podcast producer for Zach's Corner. I produce podcasts for multiple shows, anyone who's interested in starting their own podcast, producing a podcast, they need a podcast producer, they need someone to help them with audio for anything. I do a little bit of video production with it. We can get audio tracks and stuff up onto YouTube. You know, there's one-time deals. We could do hourly rates. I have packages. They're all custom built depending on what you want and what you need. I can help with one episode. I can help sign on for a whole season. It's whatever you're looking for. Maybe you just want me to show you how to do the basics and help you launch your podcast. Then you can take over and do everything on your own. Any of you who want to make recording a podcast a priority, I can show you how to do it yourself, help you get started. I could help you run it and produce it. If you want a professional quality podcast, I can get it up. I can get it online. Do your show notes. I can convert it to YouTube. I can get it on multiple platforms. There's other services are available as well. Reference the show notes for my email address to contact me